Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you what if Naruto was a godlike genius with Chakra technology guys, part 2. Remember to give this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Dream to surpass the gods over on Anime King 3. And also go ahead and check out Anime Prints as well. Link will be down in the description, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And yes, I indeed have 4 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime King Prints, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we leap ourselves into this new episode? Start the intro, guys. So, the last spot we left off, 2 individuals are reading a book that was written by Uzumaki in the past. As a man talked about the theory of applying chakra to objects to get it to be alive. A theory that most Uzumakis and other members thought that he was crazy for. As the man was not talking about bringing back the dead though. However, they thought that the idea would never work. So they discarded his work. Hearing the last name, they tossed the book towards a young child as it hit him. He picked the book up and simply made his way off with it. His name was Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto always knew that he was smarter than most people. When he was a child, his intellect was far above the normal children, as he was far surpassed them in that area. And the more he grew, the more he noticed how slow they were. As Naruto had tried to bring out his chakra on his own. However, it caused an explosion. That is where he met the Hokage. As Naruto was not interested in the man at first until he started to talk with him. Hiruzen decided to let Naruto know that he knew his parents, but he promised him that he wouldn't tell him who they were. But if he can figure it out on his own, well, that he wouldn't be objective against. So with that, Naruto left the hospital as Hiruzen and gave him a building. A building that was once owned by none other than Jiraiya the Sannin, as it was now Naruto's. As it was in the red light district next to a prostitute house. Given Jiraiya's antics, you could understand why, as he appeared not too long after, as he was interested to see how far the kid would go. Sometime later, as a few years had passed, Jiraiya came to visit the 7-year-old Naruto who had grown. As Naruto had not spoken to him and Hiruzen in 3 months when he found out who his parents were, as he was pissed off. He was angry, however they were able to sort things out. But even every now and then he made some sarcastic remarks. As Naruto was working on a way to get rid of the cage bird seal, he had saw it being used on one of the members, and that was just brutality. As he asked Jiraiya if he had any spare Byakugan eyes lying around. However, he said that he was just kidding. Jiraiya looked around as he saw the matrix and the things that Naruto was doing. As Naruto was able to create a hologram using steam and Fuuinjutsu. As the kid was fast tracking to become one of the greatest ninjas in the history with technology, and chakra as well. Some more years passed as Naruto was now 11 years old. As he was still signed up for the academy, but he did not plan to go. As he just wanted to know that he was in the system. So when time came for him to graduate, he'll be there. As the graduation age was 18 years old. As Naruto grew, he met a girl that was across the building from him. She was living there with her family. Her name was Mari. When he became 16, the both of them start to see each other, as they end up sleeping together. Naruto visited the academy, and in doing so he got to meet Sakura and a few others, but he didn't really pay attention to them. As some more time passed, as Naruto was working on his new artificial intelligence, AI, for short, as Mari came over rather pissed, saying that he was the demon fox. as Naruto knew that someone was filling her head with this. However, she was rather harsh, but Naruto was done. He knew that this might have happened, and he could have told her, but he did not. But he realized that he had let himself grow attached. He had get feelings for her, and now she ripped him apart by saying those few words. In the future, she would find out that she was wrong about this, and she will feel regret there, but he was done. Sometime later, Mara and her parents moved out, as Naruto never saw her again. He started to hook up with another girl in his class known as Ami. She had wanted him to stay some more time, but he was busy. As he left, as he met up with Chakra, she went to visit Ami because she did not go to class today to give her the notes, but the place had smelled like sex, so she left afterwards. As Naruto started to check out Chakra as well, however, he snapped his train of thought from going there, as he realized that she was more subdued about the Ami and the whole sex thing. As he thought that she was one of Sasuke's loyal fangirls, however, she told him that doesn't mean that she hadn't done it before. As Naruto was rather shocked by that, thinking that she was saving herself for Sasuke. Well, he shrugged those thoughts off, as he used her voice to make a proper voice for his AI, to make it sound less robotic, as he was a bit angry at himself that he was looking Sakura away. She was a nice little girl that he would probably mess up if he ended up sleeping with her. As the fox told him that he will always be alone. As Naruto arrived in his mindscape to face a giant, demonic fox who peered down at him. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place and check over your cell phone as we jump in this new episode, guys. Let's begin now. Alright, said Naruto as he adjusts the video camera. This is the first test of the flyboard, MK1, as he was in a forest. It was a very fine day to test this, and the thrusting was at maximum capacity. As Naruto had the board in his hand, it had to be the dullest skateboard that was ever seen. However, he said that he wouldn't paint it until he got it fully working. The ceiling array on the bottom was huge, as he continued to fiddle around before he placed it down, and he climbed on top of it. Alright, he said. I wish I had someone adjusting the camera so we can see this awesome thing fly. But I guess we'll have to do with the crappy camera work, he said. As he formed a hand sign. Begin, he said. The board shot up with an alarming velocity, and Naruto did not have the time to scream. By the time he screamed, the board was already out of the camera view. Suddenly, the board came crashing back down. However, there was no Naruto. It was after a 5 seconds of silence he came jumping back down, apparently from one of the trees. Yeah, he said, as he dusted himself off, looking down towards the broken board. That didn't work. Time skip. Alright, it's a new day, said Naruto as he opened his eyes, as he could already hear the hustle and bustle in the market streets if he paid attention. It was still very early in the morning, and yet the people were up and about. Life was going on. They had no idea about the plans that Naruto was cooking up, things that could make their life 100 times better and easier. If he was going to share it with them, well, he was not going to, because he was a bit sadistic that way. Good morning, sir. Would you like some coffee? His artificial intelligent personal assistant and housekeeper and watchman of his house asked, as Naruto couldn't help but say yes to that. There was nothing like a fresh cup of coffee early in the morning, as he had drank it a lot when he was doing all-nighters. Well, he was with a bunch of clones, as he just had to instruct them on what to do. He had some of his clones working on improving the computer technology, as the thing was a bit outdated, and if he was going to create his complex plans and seals, mixing his seals with technology, he will need it to be improved and better. As for his AI, it had a mixture of Sakura's voice. It was a bit alarmed to hear Sakura wake him up every day, but he was gonna work on it. That was just short term. He was gonna find a way to make it better than it already was, as he had connected to various systems across the house. As Naruto could step in when the AI recognized him, but other people, they need his permission to come in. After all, his work was something that could be stolen, so it was better safe to be safe than sorry. AI, I need you to work on gyroscopes and tell me if they're working correctly. Has one of the clones cataloged that yet? They have indeed been cataloged, sir, and they're all fully functional. The integration is almost complete. Naruto smiled when he heard that. This new piece of technology he was working on was pretty simple. He was going to take a large-scale photograph using a fly vehicle, a miniature one that was powered by technology same as his flyboard. He was gonna map out the entire village of Konoha, and it would give him a hologramic view, and also you'd be able to sketch it down, as he figured that it would come in handy when trying to map out locations throughout the continent. As he turned his head towards a table that had a piece of glass attached. Underneath it there was a beam of light, powered by his own invention, a chakra battery, as he convert chakra into electricity and run the light for him. He had worked a lot on holograms because he thought they look really cool, as the map was going to be projected into a giant hologram right on his decks, and you'll be able to take a closer look and scope it out. He also had some video cameras thrown in, so if he wanted to, he could monitor the people on the street. One of the other reasons why he was doing this was because he wanted to create an autopilot version of his flyboard. With the locations all integrated within the system, it could fly through and move on its own, because it would know everything in its path and know how the place was created and crafted. So he needed to be able to map out the huge areas so that it would be able to fly and go through without any hindrance. He had figured that there was a better way of doing this: send a few probes into space to map out the entire planet at once. However, that wasn't a possibility right now. He wasn't there yet. "This is gonna be really cool, AI," he said to her. It felt really weird talking to a computer and having her talk back, at least at first, but now he had gotten used to it. As he took a sip of coffee from his cup, he sighed as a worm went down his throat. "AI, pull up the schematics for the gauntlet," said Naruto. "Yes, sir." As the schematics came up, Naruto has been working on some gauntlets, seals that could alter space and time and open up portals, so that he could store what he wanted away in the gauntlets. After all, there was things out there that he would be facing in the future, and he needed to be ready for anything that was going to be thrown his way. And he needed to be ready for them. After all, after his little chat, he knew a lot more. Flashback, 10 hours ago. For someone who was as intelligent as Naruto, his mindscape was a mess. And the fact that he was in front of a gigantic fox that was said to be able to take a step and trample buildings and crush a wide area of vicinity, wipe out nations with his tail alone. It wasn't a good feeling. However, seeing said fox locked behind a iron golden bar cage, he found the whole thing rather hilarious. "Wow," he said as he clapped sarcastically upon seeing the fox. "I see you got that golden cage working for you. Man, you're pretty loaded in here. Living the life," said Naruto, trying to sound nonchalant about it. The fox sneered at him, and the sneer pushed him backwards. He had to admit he never thought that would happen. "You think that you're so funny. Try not to be afraid." However, from the inside, that is what you are. Afraid and alone. Hiding behind your so-called technology, trying to get better, the fox said. As Naruto stood there listening. "Why is it that you hide behind your technology? Is it because you know that you don't have the potential to be anything greater than just a mere engineer? Someone who can build things for others to use, but never be good enough to use them for himself? Is that what you are, Naruto?" he asked. "What I am is loaded," said Naruto. "I sold one particular piece of technology that I came up with in my sleep, and I made enough money to last me for at least 10 more years, and more than I'll make for a long time to come as a ninja," said Naruto. That was true, he was pretty rich himself. "Ah, so you're one of those people who think money is everything. Money is not going to save your life, boy," the fox said. "I'll have you know," said Naruto, "I turned a man in around a week. And as far as I'm concerned, I've been a man since last year," he said, as he was thinking about the time that he lost his virginity to Mari. However, thinking about her, it hurt a lot. But he didn't like when the fox was calling him a boy. The fox was silent for a while as Naruto watched him, before he barked out a laugh. Now Naruto had heard kids laughing. He heard himself laughing when he was in a flying session, but this was completely different. This wasn't a laugh that was full of joy or happiness or even mirth. It was a sinister, evil laugh. It was the stuff that people usually saw in movies. "I have to tell you, boy, you are pretty hilarious. It has been more fun sealing inside of you than sealing inside of anyone else. Which is a good thing, I suppose." As Naruto was surprised at that, that meant that he was not the first person that the fox was sealed inside of. "Who were the people before me? Who were you sealed inside of?" said Naruto. If the fox was sealing someone before him, that meant it had to be forcefully ripped out of that person and used against Konoha, which meant there was some outside forces plotting in the dark. So now you want something from me, huh? It's like when you need me, you don't make fun of me anymore. Well, it's my time to play with you. I'm not gonna tell you. As Naruto would have loved to argue with the giant nine-tailed fox, but he had more important things to do right now. Is there anything else? Why have you finally decided to show up? Where were you all this while? I refuse to believe that you were just sleeping. I like your spunk, the fox said. I'm gonna be watching. As he kicked Naruto back into reality, right out of his mindscape, back to the present time. It was then that Naruto realized how bad it was. He had started to work on the gauntlets with new vigor, as he had 5 other clones working on building the maps. He didn't have much info and he suspected that neither the Hokage or Jiraiya would know about this either. So it was up to him to solve the mystery. He was gonna do that again, but on his own time though. Time skip. Naruto had an idea why, or what possessed him to go to the academy. Maybe it was because he wanted to see Sakura again. She was a rather nice girl. Or maybe it was because it was one day before the graduation, and everyone had to be there. Naruto wondered if he had made a mistake not taking the Hokage's offer and graduating early. Had he done that, he would have spared the headache of being here. The class teacher Aruka Mino seemed to have something against him. It seems like he did not like that Naruto had free reign to flop the rules of the academy. However, Naruto did not really give a damn, but today he was forced by the Hokage to go. As he glanced around, one kid that had a hair that shaped like pineapple was laying down lazy on the decks. This was probably Shikamaru Nara, as Naruto was aware that he was attending classes with several of the clan heads. There was talks amongst the higher-ups that this was going to be one of the greatest classes in history. As Naruto had scoffed when he heard someone say that. I mean, wasn't that obvious? He was in the class after all. The entire thing was a buzz with people talking, as Naruto sat and stared at the whole thing. He always wanted a ninja, but now that he started to make this, he liked being an inventor even more. Right now he wished he could have invented something that could mute the things that he did not want to hear. As he saw Aruka stepped inside, as the class silenced itself. Alright, Aruka says he set some papers down on the decks. Maybe it was to mark Western papers. Honestly, Naruto did not care. So, Aruka said, you've been here for a while, haven't you? As Naruto watched some of the people nod. The scar-faced man then looked up towards Naruto. A look of surprise popped up on his face, as he didn't expect to see Naruto here. Well, at least all of you who bothered to show up and take this seriously, Aruka said. It was obviously a shot towards Naruto. He must have lost people to the fox as well. That must be the reason why he's so pissed. For 7 years. 7 years you have worked hard. You have all have matured and grown. And most of you are going to become ninjas that I and the other teachers of the academy are going to be proud of, he said. Now there are some disappointments and some people I do not expect much from. As he was looking at Naruto when he said that, Naruto simply smiled internally. Aruka had no idea. But most of you have been great students, and I'm genuinely proud to be your teacher, Aruka said. And I want all of you to give yourself a round of applause, he said. As Naruto watches everyone start to clap. Well, except for him, Shikamaru Nara and Sasuke Uchiha. He didn't know them well enough, but he knew that Shikamaru was far smarter than what he let on. And Sasuke Uchiha had an ego the size of a mountain. After a minute he spoke. Now, he said, you're not all clear yet. All of you had cleared the test that require you to take part in the final test. And I'm here to tell you that it takes place in 2 days' time. The life of a ninja is unexpected, of course. So I'm sorry if we didn't announce this sooner. And I'm not going to lie to you here, but I don't think that all of you will pass. Some of you will certainly definitely not make it. And for those who don't, I'm sorry, but it's time for you to think about something that is different from a shinobi career, he said. As Naruto glanced towards the door as Mizuki stepped in. Naruto did not like Mizuki, while Aruka was a hard ass. It was clear that he cared about his students. And for the past 2-3 years, he did try to make an effort with Naruto, trying to make him show up for class. Mizuki, on the other hand, just rubbed him the wrong way. Something was off with this guy and he knew it. Alright everyone, Mizuki said, drawing attention to himself. Here is a schedule towards the tests, as he handed a bundle of paper towards Sakura, as she was sitting at the first bench. That was unusual. Usually, she was sat beside Sasuke, as she started to pass the paper backwards. Obviously, Aruka said, you need 2 days to prepare for this test, and that is fine because we have suspended the classes today and tomorrow, so I expect all of you to be at the library, buckling down and seriously studying, and that include you as well, Shikamaru. If you can bother to wake yourself up. The class started to laugh as Aruka threw a chalk and hit Shikamaru right in the forehead. As this woke up the Naruto, who started to rub his head. As Naruto got one of the papers, apparently. He was to show up in the morning. That was fine with him. He would just have AI wake him up. Okay then, what are you scattered brain waiting for? Get up and get studying, Aruka said. As they went off, Naruto did not need to study for this. The old man Hokage tested him on this already, and he can do it in around 15 minutes. But then again, the old man is really going senile now. It's like he's gonna kick the bucket soon, Naruto thought. Now he understood the reason why the Hokage told him to be here. It seems Aruka had called him out. Naruto, the man said, making Naruto stop. As Naruto exhaled, the last thing he wanted was to get into another argument with Aruka. As he turned, "Yes, Sensei," he said. "You do know that you're the one I was directing some of my comments at, right? The ones about you not taking this seriously enough." "Yeah, I kind of got that. Nice job on that subtle message delivery, Sensei," said Naruto. His voice was dripping with sarcasm. "Message received." Aruka eyebrow twitched as Naruto smiled. It was good that he had riled the man up so much to get this kind of reaction. "I meant every word of it. I think that your ninja career is going to end in nothing but disappointment. Because everyone in this class, even Shikamaru, the latest one here, take it with a degree of seriousness. Him and everyone else, except for you, that is. You don't seem to take anything seriously at all, and that is a big flaw in the life of a ninja. We take everything seriously, Naruto. You should know that by now." As Naruto's face scowled in anger. As he was angered by that comment, he hadn't went out of his way to pretend like he was stupid or something. People just assumed that of him. Of course, some people like Chakra who see that there was a rhyme to Naruto's apparent madness. But no one has gotten the complete picture. His godfather was busy running his spine at work. The Hokage realized that he was capable of taking care of himself. As Naruto knew that while those two knew what he was capable of, everyone else, because of him, well, acting a certain way, they would underestimate him. And that was good because while they underestimate him, he was gonna pulverize them and they realized, what the hell just happened? But by then it would be over. "I'm glad you think that, Aruka-san," said Naruto. As he decided to not call the man sensei just to show him how. He was displeased by that comment even though he knew that it was not true. As Aruka's face seemed to show a bit of alarm. Maybe it was not his opinion to rile Naruto up like that. "You have a right to your opinion, Aruka-san, and I have a right to mine. So, I respect that. Since you're sharing opinions now, why don't you tell me what is yours? I mean, you seem like you have a lot to say. And after the day tomorrow, we might not see each other ever again. A lot of people say they want your positive and negative opinions, but a lot of those people aren't nowhere close to ready to hear the negative opinions. It's my opinion that you're one of those people, so I'm not going to say anything at all. Naruto, you barely attended classes, and I can't believe that you weren't kicked out. Even the civilian council wanted you kicked out. But I watched your back. I told them I could turn you around, but after a couple of years I realized there was no turn you around, so I gave up. Except the Hokage this time seemed to have taken a special interest in you, letting you stay in the academy every single time you miss an important test. I can't believe that you make it this far, but you can't think badly of me for thinking that you're gonna fail, because you have given me no indication that there's a chance that you might succeed at this endeavor. Aruka had no idea what the man was doing, so Naruto could understand that. After all, Aruka did not know that he had a level of intellect that was never seen in this world before. I really hope that you don't blame me when you fail, Naruto, because as much as I would like to take your test for you and have a 100% record, you are not going to pass, and that is a fact. It was then that a dam inside of Naruto broke. All of the emotions that he had been storing away, repressing, it started to gush out in anger. Naruto was angry, of course. Other people had parents and friends to spend their time with. While he loved Seal, they were not companions. Naruto, best friend were Seals. But he never truly had a best friend. He never had people there. He had to do everything on his own. It's not like you want those friends anymore, but it was unfair what was done to him when he was younger. And he found that to be the most worst thing of them all. He knew that the conversation was going to take a bad turn from here on out. But he didn't care. I'm not blaming you at all, Aruka-san. I'm not blaming anyone because you have no idea if I will fail. The fact of the matter is you have no idea if I'll pass or not. The test is 2 days later, and that is when you're going to find out if I pass. All I'll say is, if you really did try, thanks, because I don't get a lot of that in my life. Not many people is looking out for me. Even though he was pretty much over it, it was hard not to let a bit of sadness creep in his voice. I just wanted to let you know, as much as you like to say that you tried with me, as a way of clearing your conscience, the simple fact of the matter is, I don't need your help. I've been alone since I was born, an orphan who had no one looking out for him for a long time. I've learned to live and adapt to that, so don't tell me that you tried to help me because I never asked for your help. As Aruka was now dumbstruck by what Naruto told him, there was regret on his face. As Naruto smiled internally, he loved play the alone card. That was a way to manipulate people greatly. As he played a lot when he was growing up. Also, you and I both know if everyone passes, most of the class is gonna die within their first 10 missions. There are around 150 kids here in 6 sessions, and even in our class of 25 people, I don't think more than half are going to make it. 5 of them are going to be dead by next year. So why don't you go stick that in your goddamn trophy case, said Naruto. I regret ending our conversation like this, Naruto, but really, I have nothing more to say to you at this point. I just hope that you show up for the exam, said Aruka. As Naruto glared at him, you know what, Scarface? Aruka twitched. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. I'm going to show you what you have been missing all these years. It's not because I want to impress you. It's just I don't give a single damn about your approval. I'm past that. I just want to do it for the heck of it. I'm going to ace your test, and I'm going to do it with such ease that you think I'm taking a nap while I'm doing your tests. And since you think that I'm going to fail and be a great disappointment in my ninja career, I'm going to go really far. Not just because I want to, but just because I'm going to spite you and everyone else who think that I was not good enough. And this stupid academy that has been manipulating my test scores to make me look bad is gonna feel goddamn sorry. They're gonna be sorry that I got as far as I did. And you're gonna regret saying those things to me. As Naruto was now shouting, Aruka seemed glad that they were in an empty classroom. And after I become famous worldwide, I'm going to become powerful. Maybe I'll do the both of them at the same time because I can. And then I'm gonna take this world and turn it upside down. So you can take your ninja analysis and your ninja stupid ass class. And your stupid ass students. Stick it sideways and shove it up your ass for all I care. Because while I've never said this, I always known it. I'm better than this crap. I'm better than the academy. I'm better than the civilian council. That just love to hound me because you're a bunch of losers. Who have nothing to do better than to hate me over something I have no control over. And I'm sick of it, said Naruto. But I seriously do not give a damn, so watch me stamp on the world myself. And watch slowly. You Scarface bastard, because I'm gonna show you how wrong you really are. As Naruto turned, Mizuki was coming in at that moment as Naruto shoved him out of his way. Mizuki stood there shocked. What was that, Aruka? I heard shouting. Aruka stood there looking at the door. Maybe he should have taken more interest in the boy, because he was doing what Aruka did when he was his age. Lashing out when he was alone. Because he was alone. Naruto just shouted at me. Aruka said, yes, I heard part of that. The brat has really done this time, can you believe him? Such insubordination. Not only against you, but also me. Did you see how he pushed me aside? Yes, I know, but let's not hold this against him. This might be my fault. I went a bit too personal with him there. He was an orphan who was building up a wall around himself. I shouldn't have done that. Are you sure that we're not gonna punish little shit for this? Mizuki said. Aruka clicked his tongue at that, not pleased the way that Mizuki was addressing Naruto at the moment. Don't do that, Mizuki. I told you that it was my fault, let's leave him be. He's gonna have to prepare for the test. Now let's go and get something to eat. Because I mixed breakfast, Aruka said. As they began to leave, Naruto got back to his apartment. What the hell does that asshole think of himself, Naruto thought as he was raging. As AI apparently sensed his displeasure. As that meant her emotional precautions were working. That was good because Naruto was not in the mood to talk to anyone right now. AI, pull up the gauntlets. I want to see if we can integrate the hologram system on them. I must warn you, sir, because it seems like you're not in the best of moods. But if you want to integrate the hologram into the gauntlets, we will have to sacrifice some of the light source. Although, managing the engine is possible based on the tech that has been researched so far. Yeah, I don't want the fancy full-scale hologram. Just something to project images. Maybe I'll work on a large-scale integration of the whole thing when I get chance for it. It seems like I can use Genjutsu without. Haven't used Genjutsu because you cannot break something that is not really there in the first place. That actually seemed like a good idea, sir. I will work on fitting in the light source without losing any of the important programs. You do that, said Naruto as he picked up an empty piece of paper and started to draw on it. Naruto gave AI his yin chakra, which meant that its spirit was in her, so she think like him. Unlike Naruto's human brain though, AI was a voice box with a mental processor that was boosted by chakra. That meant she was probably even smarter than him. However, she would not reach a point of trying to rebel against him after all. It would be like rebelling against herself. Hurting him would be like hurting herself. Another thing that Naruto did was make a contract seal of sorts with his clones, as it was extremely tricky to do this, but once he had it happen, he also handed AI a seal to upgrade, giving her a system upgrade. The seal that he did right there was some of the most hectic seal ever worked on because it involved memory transfer. As Naruto knew that bombarding himself with several dozen clones when they dispel would literally fry his brain, so he made sure AI was the one that got the information and used in connection with her because she had his chakra. He could import those things into his brain, or she could come up with a result and work it out on her own. This system was not perfect because it took days to come up with things. Maybe it was because of the feel of work that he was working on, as Naruto was going into things that weren't even possible yet. As he was going into genetic engineering, he was always fancied by the wood release, and he'd wanted that for himself. But he knew that Orochimaru did some forbidden shit when he was still a Konoha ninja, and it wasn't even documented very well. Even the old man was on edge when Naruto brought that up. He didn't want to do any experiments, but he would kill to have some data, and know that he had a map working and a spy drone working. He had wondered if there was a hideout that the Anvus had missed, and as he was done making his third cup of coffee for the day, there was a ping. Sir, one of your clones that you had sent out to search for possible sites have come back with the results. However, you might have to wear a special suit for this, because it didn't take long for him to feel sickly after going inside. He barely managed to close the door before dispelling. He complained of bleeding from the nose and feeling fainty before he dispelled. I believe that he handled something that did not need to be handled, AI said. Naruto had worked on some suits that would keep him safe when he was working with his tear gas grenade. So those should work, and if there was anything else, he was sure that the fox would take care of it. Getting struck down by a mysterious illness was not something that was on his list of doing. AI, do you think the wireless communicator that I work on is gonna work? Because there's a lot of input and I need your knowledge on this. I have thoroughly tested the connection, sir, and it seemed to be all okay. It's a good thing that we set up that range seal. The range seemed to be 500 kilometers. Also, we have the mini communication seals that will need to be placed because this vault is underground, which means that we need to bounce the signal through several other sources before getting back there. Time skip. Mass answer, AI said. I don't think it is wise to go anywhere without it. The ears seem to be filled with some strange energy. It is not Chakra though. Naruto had set up the communicators. He couldn't believe that the Anvus missed his place. However, it took him a while to find as well because it was extremely hidden. They were deep underground. The place smelled of blood. It seems like some inhumane things have been happening here. As it was inhumane the things that Orochimaru had done. As he came across the chamber. Okay, that's disgusting. There was a body that was decayed. As Naruto saw a blue paste of sorts. Sir, I've seen that before. That is what the clone had touched. I believe that is an element of uranium. As Naruto looked in surprise. He had read about the rare element several times, but not many ninjas came across it. Actually, only 2 or 3 had, making people believe that it was a myth. Sir, from my information on this element, it is highly toxic. We will need to proceed with great caution from here. Is a suit ready to handle this, said Naruto. There was silence for a while until the answer came. Not for too long. Maybe around a minute or 2. Good. Then we better move fast, said Naruto as he pulled out a box. It was equipped with many seals all over it, as the top was transparent. As he opened the glass, as he grabbed and placed the uranium in as he shut it, it steamed out before. It went still. It was able to be viewed, however, it was in a different dimension stasis, where it would not harm anyone. As Naruto the clone gave the spare mass, as he told it not to touch anything as he gave the box, while he decided to go straight down. Time skip, sir. I've been reading this report and Orochimaru seemed to have a misguided thinking process when it comes to this element. No shit, said Naruto. As Orochimaru was a sick person. Explain, he told AI. Perhaps he was misguided or not, well read enough to realize that the information that he gathered was wrong. Because I believe that this thing is called radioactivity. It's not the sort of chemical reaction that shinobis are used to seeing, or have seen before. Orochimaru notes say that he placed the uranium because he believed it will enrich his subjects that have been exposed to it. He did not realize the toxicity of the element, but even after he did, he decided to continue. However, the results are the photographs stuck in one of the manuals. You might not like to see the picture, sir. It's not pretty. Naruto scoffed. Even his AI was treating him like a kid now. You don't need to do that, AI. I'm not a kid. Threw up a picture on the hologram screen. The picture that came up though, it almost made Naruto throw up in his mouth. It was a girl. Not really, it was a child that was horribly disfigured. Her face was disfigured, her eyes were gouged out. There were sores around it. Turn it off, said Naruto. I did warn you, sir, said AI. Maybe I should listen to you more often, said Naruto. Now tell me about this radioactivity. Well, to put it simply, it means radiation. Radioactivity happens when an unstable element releases some sort of ionizing radiation that cannot be really seen. It is happening on an atomic level, but it's there, and at large levels it can be extremely harmful. You saw that in Orochimaru lab, sir. The effects were drastic. So you're saying that the reaction is on an atomic level? Like the reaction that gives the star their light, maybe. Yes, sir, the reaction that gives star its light. Well, it's actually heat that radiates light, but probably on a nuclear level. The civilian scientists seem to have studied those even more. Their notes on the radioactivity are quite comprehensive and the information is easily available. So it does not enrich people. Is there something else we can use this for, said Naruto? If we were to split this radioactivity material atoms into two, then we can create a lot of energy. Maybe a bang so big that it could take out this entire town if used in a sufficient quality. Alternatively, we can do something less harmful and that has a better reaction to us. We can diffuse it and use the weight and turn it into energy, which means we can have infinite energy without even using those pesky chakra converter seals, so your device could be streamlined and make way for other things. But research in that field is dead, and a lot of financial support will be needed. It's a good thing that we're loaded then. Did Orochimaru say where he found this uranium deposit? Actually, yes he does. It's not that far from here. I predict that we can go there. Look for some and be back in 6 hours. At full capacity on the flyboard. Well, what the hell are we waiting for, said Naruto. A lot of things happened today, but it didn't really matter. In the big scheme of things, a lot more things need to be taken care of. Time skip. What the hell is this, said Naruto, as he stood over a canyon on top of his flyboard. Inside the canyon, there is sure a lot of uranium in here, sir, said AI. As Naruto nodded as he was confused, his clones were in their suit as they were boxing the things up. However, Naruto was confused. How did people not stumble upon this, or they did, and they just weren't prepared for it? That must be the case, because this place is a giant canyon. How did no one came up on this? Sir, I must say I require a lab to be able to personally analyze all of this, and maybe a bigger house as well, said AI. Wow, you want a bigger house, just like the other girls, AI. I thought I made you actually smart. Sir, I believe that you made me a girl as well. I could imagine myself as a British butler too. As Naruto laughed at that. A British butler, huh? Maybe I'll make another one that way. Where the hell am I gonna find a British butler though? I think convincing Haruka I'm smart will be a lot easier, said Naruto. As Naruto was still pissed off about that, however he had calmed himself down, as he couldn't believe that he lost his cool so easily. How long is this gonna take? I do have other things to do, said Naruto, as he thought about how long he hadn't had sex. It has been about 3 weeks. Maybe that is why he lashed out at Haruka. When Naruto got back to the village, the first thing that he did was fly towards Ami's house. As she lived alone, her parents were rich merchants who were always traveling, which meant her house was always empty, well except for her. As Naruto took out a lot of his mental frustration. However, she seemed to like it a lot more when he's rough, as he's gonna think about it the next time when he came over. They had talked for a while and she had fell asleep. However, Naruto had a lot to do. He didn't know that his parents had left him inheritance, as he wondered if there was something like a mansion inside of that. He hoped that it would at least be useful to him as dead people. Please tell me you found something, AI. Anything will do. I just want to know that there's something that we can do with this element, said Naruto as he had made it home. He had got a quick rest at Ami's place, and he'd wake up and saw her sleeping, a smile on her face. He felt a bit guilty, as he did not like her, and that made him feel guilty. It wasn't her, but it was just, after what happened with Mari, he didn't know if he can like anyone anymore. Sir, I must say, this is the most fantastic material that we ever worked on. It seemed to be decaying at a slow rate. According to my calculations, it will take at least 4 billion years for this to decay, at 50%, which is quite nice if I say so myself. So if we were to split the atoms in two, said Naruto, it will produce a lot of energy, right? Like say enough energy to electrify something. Yes sir, we can completely remove the seals, because with this, we will have enough energy to use, and also speed up the time that is necessary for working on your other projects. We already know how to convert electricity into chakra, as you have perfected those amplifying seals. So once we achieve it in this form, it will be an actual boost to our project, sir. As Naruto thought about it, he really was gonna need a bigger house if he was gonna achieve anything, but he had no idea. Will he have to buy a house? Or even if he would, who would sell him an affordable house? Is there anything else, Naruto asks? Yes sir, I think that we can weaponize this as well. Make it into a powerful bomb that will have devastating after effects. However, it's a very risky element, which means we need to proceed with caution. Got it, extreme caution. But what about the other books we found in that bunker? Is there anything else that we can use to our advantage? I believe that you should see this for yourself, sir. As a seal came up on the hologram. It wasn't his seal. He has never seen this before, however, it resonated with him, as Naruto was fascinated by it. It also kind of looked like, this looked like the seal I have on us. The one that binds us together. While his bond was with the machine, this seal was evil. The person could take complete control of the person, if they desire, with this seal. I've seen this before. On that crazy snake lady, Naruto said, no remembering why it resonated with him because he saw it before. As he remembered that woman, well, her wonderful assets. She had no problem showing it off the last time. She was dressed rather revealing. I see you remembering the last encounter you have with her. What she did is not becoming of a well-behaved person, if I might say so myself. As Naruto nodded the AI statement, even though it was not well becoming, it was something that he liked a lot. As he slapped himself, this is not the time for that, he said to himself. We need to get a bigger place. I'm gonna go speak to the Hokage. You keep working on your stuff. Time skip. So let me get this straight. First you tell me that you don't want the inheritance, but now you want it if there's a mansion in there for you, said Hiruzen. Yes, said Naruto. Yes, you'd be pleased to know that there is a mansion, but it's not in the village. It's around half an hour away. Hiruzen opened the jaws, he pulled a scroll and tossed it towards Naruto. It was the usual, a lot of money, but not enough to what the royalties that he got from his technologies. And there were some scrolls on the 4 Hokage techniques, and the key to the mansion. Please tell me that this is bigger than my apartment, said Naruto. It is called a mansion for a reason. I've seen it myself, and it's quite big, and there's a lot of room to place improvements and extension all over the place. But there's a problem, I hadn't been there in a while. First it was because of the painful memories, but it then became so tiresome for old men like me to clean up the place. So that is on you. Oh, that's fine, said Naruto. I'll get the clone army to take care of that, he said. Hold on there, Naruto, there's something I want to talk to you about. You know what it is. It's about Aruka. Naruto groaned as he sat back down. Do we have to talk about this? Because I was hoping that we could do anything apart from that. Hiruzen shook his head. Aruka is one of the good guys, Naruto, and if you give him some time, he will come to the realization and realize that you're also one of the good guys. I'm not blaming you for not showing him how good you are, but I'm asking you not to blame him either, and not hold this against him sometime in the future. That means there will come a point in the future where I'll have to deal with him, said Naruto. As Harrison smiled, as Naruto knew what that smile meant. And who's to say that there won't be a point in the future where you'll have to be on a team with him? Yeah, but you're gonna make sure that doesn't happen, right, old man, said Naruto. The man's smile vanished instantly, as his mood changed rather quickly. I might not live much longer, Naruto. I'm coming close to the end now. As his tone was somber, I told you, I could work on that. I mean, you have great medical ninja in your squad that can treat death at a regular basis. Why don't you get yourself checked out? Naruto did not like a lot of people, but over the years he had developed bonds with certain people. The old man was one of them. Naruto, there's a point in everyone's life when you lose the will to live. There's not much left for me to do anymore, except kick the bucket, and then I can join my wife in the afterlife. As Naruto nodded, even though he couldn't understand why someone can lose the will to live, but he did sympathize with the man. Time skip. Naruto had spent the entire day going over the seal work, as he think he knew how to remove it. All he needed was a live person that had that seal, and he knew a live person who had it. There were several clones at his family compound. The clones were cleaning it up. As Naruto walked by the ramen store that he knew so well, one of them were older there. They acknowledged him, even though he knew about his condition. However, he had spent majority of his life looking for that acknowledgement, but he then switched and realized he didn't want it because he was better than them anyways. He was better than all of them. As he continued to walk, according to his sources, he had a lot of them in Yonvu. The person he was looking for was Uncle Midarashi. The last time they had met, she had chased him down the alleyway because she thought he was looking at her funny. She then pinned him against a wall and asked him his age. He proceeded to tell her that he was 16. This was 2 years ago. She had then told him that she was willing to wait. She had then flashed him with her chest, like this was an everyday occurrence. As he wondered if it was something that she did on a regular basis, he really hoped that wasn't the case. But you never know with these things. As she was a fan of Dango as well, there wasn't much Dango store in the place, so he was easy able to find her. There she was in her coat. It was hiding the important things, but it also revealed a lot as well. As he just looked at her, she glanced over towards him. Stop staring at me and just come and join me, handsome, she said. As he wondered how good of a sensor she was to be able to detect him. He wasn't trying to hide, but he was out of her line of sight though. As he looked, and he had to admit, she was hot. What the hell are you thinking about? Uncle said loudly. Sorry, I was actually looking for you, said Naruto. Uncle looked curious at that. She went around looking for people. People did not try to find her. You'll do. Come with me. I hope you slept earlier because I'm gonna keep you up all night, she said, as she threw some money on the table and grabbed him, and vanished with him in a sunshine. Time skip. Does your promiscuity has anything to do with your seal, said Naruto. As they were at her apartment, both of them naked and drenched in sweat. They had worked themselves up a storm. You weren't complaining about my promiscuity about 15 minutes ago, you pig, she said, as she playfully smacked his arm. What was that about a seal, she said. Your seal. Your cursed seal. The one that Orochimaru gave you, remember? She did not take kindly to that, as she threw his hand away, as she started to get up and started to get dressed. Why are you putting on your clothes? Because you're a mood killer, she said, as she was deadly serious. She was not being playful at all. You are angry at me for that. Why, said Naruto. Perhaps he was incensed to bring up the seal, but he had no idea why she would be hating him for that. That thing, she said as she looked towards the seal. That thing has been responsible for my shitty life I lived so far. The look of distrust from my peers, and all those civilians. It was all his fault, she said. As Naruto looked at her, they were someone like him after all, although the reasons were different. I want to hear what he did to you, said Naruto. Why? Are you going to tell me that you love me? That you care about me, she said. I don't need that in my life. Sex is just a way to get rid of my desires. What my heart wants is Orochimaru's head on a plate, and you cannot give that to me. I will work every single day if I have to, just so I can get him, and I will get my revenge one day. As Naruto smirked as he realized he and Uncle was going to be good friends. Someone that he can use and relate to as well. Well, I don't really give a damn about love, said Naruto. I just think that you're hot. And the reason I asked about the seal is because I want to study that seal. I might be almost a nymphomaniac, but that doesn't make me stupid. I know about you and I know where you're at. There is no reason for you to look at my seal because you haven't even passed yet. It's going to be years of intense training and seal making before you can even start to study this thing. And by then you'll probably be too late because it would have either been found a way to taken care of, or Orochimaru would have been dead. and the seal would actually be useless, she said. As Naruto wanted to laugh at that. If only she knew how actually good he was. However, he decided to make a little game out of this. How about, said Naruto as he grabbed her arm and threw her back on the bed, as he started to strip her clothes off. Perhaps she was just shocked that someone had the balls to take control away from her. I just take your clothes off, and we screw right now, said Naruto, as he looked over the seal. As Naruto had a good memory, she looked at him, and then we screw some more. Then after that, you just show me the seal for shits and giggles. Then, we go right back to screwing, he said. I don't know what is with you, brat. Why the hell do you want to look at my seal? Please, he said, doing his best puppy dog eye impression. It seemed to work because she relented. Only if you screw me hard enough, she said, as they started to kiss once again. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto. Dream to surpass the gods and enjoy that, guys. And if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels. Well, 4 guys, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime King Prince, which I post What If on every single day. Yes, you have not misheard that. Every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and destroy those red subscribe buttons and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And don't forget to stay in tune for what is coming your way. They're not done yet. Stay in tune for Anime King 2, guys. And I hope you guys enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we jump on into this new episode without wasting any more time? Begin now, guys.